Hey guys, welcome back out in the garage. Today I'm gonna play around a little bit with the flow bench on a 2V cylinder head. Nothing crazy about the head at all. It's just gonna be a test that I want to do. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. Basically, it was something that was brought up that actually I was reading it, okay, this morning. And what it was is taking a 2V head, but putting a 4V, stock 4V cast iron head on it, which the port is, well, as heavy as this thing is. Let me turn it around. Which the port is a lot bigger. Okay, that's the stock port. And to kind of give you an idea, let me grab one of these, or both of these, kind of give you an idea. That's the 2V. That's the 4V. Can you see the difference? Big difference. Okay, so we're gonna put this intake manifold to this port. Okay, and what got my attention was, is because a lot of people were going back and forth on it. Some were saying it works, they do it, no issues, they've been driving it a long time. Others say you'll have leaks, it won't seal, the mismatch is gonna be bad. Someone even posted some literature that supposedly Ford wrote. If you do that, if you put that stock iron intake on a 2V, basically a stock is 2V port, 35 horsepower, but with a 780. I think instead it had a 780 Holly on it. So you take so if you have a 2V ride and you just put that big old heavy intake on there and a 780, 35 horses right off, okay? Some people say BS, some people say no, it's true, it's written right here, here it is. Okay, so I thought it'd be fun to try because I happen to have a stock cast iron heavyweight right there. And of course, I've got cylinder heads for days. And so this is a 2V. So I'm gonna do like 3 tests, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just kind of flow this real fast, not gonna get crazy. I have it set at 525 because that's normally, on a stock head, 500, 510 is pretty average. I mean, you don't want to go real big on these cylinder heads because they quit flowing, okay? After about 475, it starts to whatever, and then 500, 510 is done anyway. So I was gonna go ahead and just put 525. So I'll go ahead and I went ahead and zeroed it back out. That way I'll move it when you're watching. I'm gonna flow it on the number 4. If you ever see me use this machine, which is the flow rate, which is 185. Okay, and if you ever watch me use this machine, I've been using it for over 30 years now. It's not computered, so it's manual. So everything is basically I have to put in the calculator, okay? I have to take this number, cross it over to this sheet over here, it has all kinds of numbers on it. Then I gotta take that percentage and this number 4 here, which is 185, and calculate it. So I'm just gonna kind of do that. I'll move the camera up, and then I'll even move the camera over here. Let's see. So you can see as I'm punching it in, you can see what the CFM counts to, okay? So let's go ahead and I'm gonna move this up so you can kind of see. There it is. So that's on the 0 right now. And see, I can turn this backwards and it's not moving, see that? So let's go ahead and go this way, let it go until it touches the rocker arm. And let's go to 525. So here we go. You can see the needle moving. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 25. Close enough. All right, now I'll go ahead and flow this thing. Let me see a good place to put the phone. I'll just put it over here for the moment. Because I'll be standing here. Yeah, you kind of see the stuff. But anyway, I'll go ahead and let's see what this ends up doing real quick. Oh, you know what? Usually, that's why I have this here. Because I write down the numbers. Makes it a little easier. So we already know the number 4. So there's the number 4, which is 185 on the flow rate. 185. Okay, now I just gotta do those up there. So let's just go ahead and okay, so it was 4.9 and the percentage was 49. Okay, so here's our numbers. So we just have to calculate all this, okay? And then that'll give us our CFM. I'll show you how I do that. So basically, like I say, some of you guys have seen me use this machine. The sheet up here is hard to see. I need to brighten it up one of these days. Once I get my number here, I have to cross it over to 28 inches of 28 inches of water over there, okay? Then there's the percentage up there, and then it's all calculated in by the flow rate, which was 185. Kind of hard for me to see the camera because I have it reversed or whatever, so I don't even know where I'm even pointing it. In fact, how do you, let me see something. Ah, bummer. I was hoping I can, hold on, bear with me. Man, I'm the worst when it comes to this kind of stuff. Oh, well, I can't, I thought I can reverse it somehow. It's not helping me none. Okay, so, I don't want the video to keep going, so let's just get the show on the road. So, 185. Okay, 185. So it's 185 times, it was 4.9. So I have to look at that paper up here. I got to find 4.9. And it says it is 2.390. 2.390. And the percentage was 49. So you times that by 0.49 equals 216.6. So that's our CFM. So let me write that down. 216.6. Okay. Now we can get the ball going. Now that we have that number, because I also want to do a couple of different kind of tests on this one deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the intake on there. Wish me the best because that thing is heavy. Hopefully it doesn't rip the head right off the flow bench. Okay. I didn't want to run the gasket because the gasket would be real big, so it really won't show a lot of stuff. Plus I wanted to seal all the ports, so it just does that one. That was why I put that white tape or the yellowish tape here, hopefully that the dicom will show something. I think it's gonna be a mess myself. So then I went ahead and I blocked this side. Man, I don't know how much these things weigh, but they're a ton. And then this side's blocked except for the one port. Yeah, the fun part. Trying to find those holes. Oh, come on. Man, that thing's heavy. That's crazy. I am out of breath lifting that thing. Oh, wait a minute. Let me change these two. That wasn't good. That tape. There. That tape gets into those threads and kind of messes with you. Whoop. I'm leaving the whole top open up here instead of trying to, tape it all off. But we know that port is going to pull from here and here. It's not going to pull from this one. These two here belongs over here. These two belong over here. So this one's going to pull, that there actually takes from this one and this one. But takes more from this one, but this one, actually, I guess it'd be the same difference. But yeah. So with this being blocked down here, I'm not worried about that. It's just gonna be, I just know it's gonna be a mess. That's gonna be crazy. And without the gasket, I'm not sure how that's really gonna work. That's why the flow over can be off a little bit also, because we didn't put no clay on there around the port or nothing. It was just a quick run. So there's no gasket on this intake, so that means there. That it could, suck a little bit. We'll just see what happens. It'd be fun. I'm trying to snug it up, kind of even it to get a good seal. Okay, but I'm not gonna spray the Dicam in at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it right back on, and let's just see what we come up with on the CFN again. I'm not touching nothing. I'm not gonna touch no knobs, no flow rates, nothing. I'm just gonna read those things and see what the number is now. So let's just do it real quick. 5.4. It was like 5.4 and 48. Actually, yeah, 48. That's a lot of weird numbers. So now we're at 185. And it was 5.4. So we go up here. Let me get the number now. 5.4. Man, I gotta get my flashlight. It's on the camera, doesn't look that dark, but actually it's dark. Yeah. All right. I gotta reprint this. 5.4 is 2.277. 2.277 and then 48%. Oh, so there was the 185, the 2.277 and 48%. Let's see what happened by putting that intake on. And again, you guys can watch me punch it in. Oh, where's it at? Oh, it's way down there. Okay. Go like that. So we have 185 times, where's it at? 2.277. 2.277 times 48%. 0.48 equals 202.1. 202.1. All right, so actually 202.1 minus, let's just say 216.6. Yeah, it's 14 CFM drop. That's really not that bad if you think about it. I thought it'd be a little farther than that, but it only lost like 14 CFM, but it's pulling through these two holes. So that's really not that bad. And it's kind of cool to know, because if you're looking for a certain flow, now hey, I just lost 14 by using this intake, and we can put different intakes on. It's called stacking. I've done that before too. I actually put a carburetor on next, which I'm not going to do that. Flow it, put an air filter on it, flow it, and you'll see what the total CFM actually really is with the stacking, okay? So now the messy part. Let's just go ahead and spray the dichrome and just see what happens. I'm gonna try just to hit those holes, but I just have a feeling it's gonna be a big mess. And so I kind of want to put this where you can watch, but at the same time not too close, because that stuff goes everywhere. And I'm gonna go pump one and see how it sprays first. Let me just see how it sprays. Way sharp. Okay. Oh, let me do it one more time. All right, here goes nothing. I don't know why this thing. Sorry about moving that camera around so much. All right, the dichrome doesn't look very bright out here, so I'm thinking this whole test might have been a flop. Okay, it probably because I mixed some other stuff with it, and so it didn't. Usually it's like bright blue, and it's really bad. I mean, it made a little bit of a mess. There's some on the floor. It did make a little bit. There's a little bit up here when I was spraying it, but it should be darker. So I don't know. It may not do nothing. At least out of one of the tests, we did know the intake robbed for 14 CFM. So it's not a total loss. But let's go ahead and pull the intake off, and let's just see if any of it made it from these here all the way up into here. Let's just see. All right, let me move this back over here. I didn't do the landscape time thing this time because I knew I was gonna be moving around, and I was gonna try to keep it focused on a certain area. So you have to just bear with me, I guess. Yeah, that tape gets inside those threads and plays heck with it a little bit. Kind of a cool deal, but it's not drying. See, it should have already been dried, but I think I really messed up. I can smell it, but it's not drying. So it should have, it's got to dry to show it. So I'll probably pull this off and just be a big mess. If that's the case, at least we learned what the intake is gonna rob by putting it on there, which that really wasn't too bad considering it's air's coming in through the top, hitting those walls and stuff and going in. So it really, in a sense, wasn't that bad. Cause I did a head that had some porting done on a 4V head, cylinder head, with the big port I had up here, and I stuck a air gap, the dual plane air gap. There, a lot of people like it. It ate a bunch. It ate a bunch of CFM. I was like, not a good deal. Yeah, a lot more than what people think. Okay, let's see if it shows anything. I'll try, oh, let me get these washers off. I'll try to do it slowly, but I don't think it dried. So unless it dries, it isn't gonna work, it's just gonna run. Maybe I can redo this test when I get some new dichrome. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it was gonna look. So basically, that's not bad. You can see it a little bit, nothing on the bottom, a little tiny bit on the side here. See, my finger's kind of fat there, and a little bit right there, but it did hit up here. So as it was pulling it in, it did get that. So right there's your, what people were saying, the mismatch part. But this would look, this pulled, it actually sharpened up right there. Look at that. It went right in. There's none out here. And this one went a little, about 40,000 or so out. You might not be able to see it on the camera. No, so the test actually wasn't a total flop. It did show it. I wonder if it shows anything inside. Oh yeah. You can kind of see, I don't know if it'll work or not. You know what? Let me try something here. No, it's not gonna work. No, I can't see it because I can't flip it. I'm sorry guys, I don't know how to flip the phone when it's in this mode. Huh. Yeah, I don't know how to. But anyway, that's that. The video's gonna get way too long because I was wanting to do one more test. All right, so far it's not a total flop, okay? We lost 14 CFM, not a big deal. We can make it up somewhere if we really want to. And, oh yeah, I can really see it now. Standing on this side, oh yeah, that's probably about 80 thousandths on this side. This is sharp over here. Man, I wish I could have got more color in there. You know what? This could be a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm gonna spray it again. Whoa. Really? Oh, my battery went dead. Go figure. Go figure. I almost want to go get a brand new bottle of Dicom. This is really interesting. I just wish I was better with the camera. I know it's annoying, and again, you know how I don't edit or nothing, so kind of cool though. This has been a real good machine. Like I said, I've used it over 30 years, and I found a lot of power by using this machine. I go in there, you know, I see how some people do porting and everything, and then I might try to copy that a little bit, and then it'll tell me something different. It's like, well, maybe I better do it a little differently. So everybody has their own techniques. And like I say, I found a lot of good stuff using this machine. Not on just Fords. I mean, I float everything from Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Dodges, Chevrolet, a bunch of Chevrolet, Fords. Anything I can put on this bench, of course. There's that. Let's go ahead. Let's try this again real quick. I'm gonna shake this. I don't know if it'll do any good. I think I've ruined it. Let's see. You know what? What if? Okay. That's crazy. That's just downright crazy. Only hippies that live on a mountain do stuff like this. Man, it might be the bolts. These are old bolts. I don't have another battery in here. I don't feel like going in the house and grabbing one. So that's why I'm doing it like this. Kind of fun, actually, doing this kind of stuff. A lot of guys get real serious that have the half flow benches. They don't play around too much. I've done a lot of playing around on this. This bench will actually flow 1200 CFM. I've flown air filters on here that were flowing way high. A comparison between a couple different brands. Throttle bodies, carburetors, exhaust manifolds, headers, ports, intakes. Whoop. I've still got 2 more bolts in there. Briggs and Stratton, you name it. Anything I can bolt up here, I've done. A lot of times when I read a lot of stuff, as you can tell, that's why I'm doing all kinds of weird stuff all the time. If I start reading all these deals, and I'm already thinking, man, I already done that back in the day. Alright, let's try it. Oh, we got us something. Look at that. It paid off to try it one more time. Okay, I don't know if it comes, can you see it? I don't know if it's in there or not. There we go. That's what we was looking for right there. So this side still is just straight. And look at that. Okay. Now, well, oh yeah, I can see. It's gonna be too hard for the camera to see in there, but it is definitely. This is all wet on this side. This is dry. This side's dry, so it definitely is working this side, and it's hitting the back of the bowl. It's hitting the front of the valve. Interesting. Yeah, I wish that's. Was gonna do another little test, but I'm not gonna do it. It's because I have to change this because I was gonna try the other side and do something on the short runner because that's a long runner. Yeah, on the intake, that's one of the long runners. I was gonna try to use one of the short runners and see what would happen, but I'd have to go change all this to do that, and like I say, and it's gonna get to be longer and longer and longer. But hey, it was worth trying it a second time. That looks that's sweet, and I mean it is like no runs or nothing. It's perfect, but that goes to show you that this bank on this side definitely um, isn't pulling over. You know what? It could be. Wow. Check this out. If you don't have a good gasket, you could have a little bit of a problem. Putting that right where the blue is. It's right on the edge. See that edge? So basically, that intake, it's set. The port is like this. So if you don't have a good gasket seal here, you could actually suck from the valley pan. I mean, the valley pan, the lifter valley, maybe. Or just suck from anywhere out there. Interesting. I don't know. But that definitely shows it. I'm not gonna do the other test. I was gonna, like I say, I was gonna use one of the short runners, like one of the shorter runners to see if it hit differently. But that kind of gave us a good idea right there what's going on. All right, guys. Um, that was kind of cool. All right, it started off kind of slow. All right, but we did it. We got at least we got a picture. Okay, we got something there. So sorry it took so long, but that's me. um, very cool, very cool. All right, so anyway, I'm not gonna bother you guys no more with this. 525 lift, 14.2 or whatever it was, 14.4 CFM loss, putting that big intake on there. Is it worth it or not? You know, they claim 35 horsepower. Um, can you see that or not by what we just tested? So I don't know. So there you go. Um, if you like this stuff, you know, if you can, hit that like button, because I like showing this kind of stuff. I really do. It's a lot of old school stuff in here, and I like to continue with the old school stuff, and I want to show more of this kind of cool things. All right, there's a lot of stuff out there on YouTube, and a lot of it's more modern, and it's high dollar and stuff, and we're out to try to figure out, how we can do on budgets, and by doing tests like this, we learn stuff, okay? And so, anyway, yeah, and subscribe, whatever, if so you get notifications. So anyway, I like this. It was fun, okay? I actually ended up enjoying this. I was kind of bummed at first, but now I enjoyed it. All right, I'm not gonna do the other deal. I'm done. And so, as always, stay safe out there and catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.